Good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know who I am, and I have got back triumphantly Dave, the White Ryan Allen. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That triumph was a while ago now.
Yes, it was, and we deliberately did not interview you because we know that you had a fight coming up just after that. So we want to get the post-fight thoughts and the pre-fight thoughts.
I'm a busy man. It all rolls into one. It's all the same thing. Every fight is always leading on to the next, and I'm very lucky that I am a busy man. So it's good.
So Dave, talk me through this last fight. Talk me through the dynamics of this last fight, because from what I remember and what we were talking about, it was your fight going to be on Sky Sports? Wasn't it going to be on Sky Sports? Change of opponent? Talk to me about all those experiences.
It was different to what I've encountered before. It was a good show first and foremost. I was happy that I was on a show like that. The show did fall apart a little bit. And, it was a stressful week with a change of opponent and the opponent better than the original. But I feel I'm all the better for it now. Not just the fight, everything about it. It was stressful. We didn't know who was fighting until the Thursday. So I think it'll stand me in good stead for the future now. After that, it was a I wasn't happy about it at the time, but looking at it now, it's a good experience, and I learned a lot in the ring. That's for definite. That night.
So that was your toughest test of your career so far, but yet we never got to see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know the fight was recorded and was commentated on by Adam Smith and Carl Frost. So I've been looking for a version of it myself, a little copy. But I've not been able to see it. But as far as the fight is concerned, it was a close fight. It was a close fight, but it felt like it was a fight I won. Probably with my youth and my desire to want to win it a little bit more than the Frenchman did. But it was a difficult fight, and for the stage of my career and stuff, it's I'm happy with it now, looking back in hindsight.
Can you talk me through the fight in Dave Allen White Rhino commentary mode, as if you were in the Sky Sports team commentating on yourself? Take us through the highlights.
First and foremost, I'll do a better job than Nick Holland would. So I can do that, yeah. Because I at least.
It's reckless boxing from Allen. Reckless boxing.
Yeah. Well, it was just a case. The first round I dropped him in the first round, and I won the first round comfortably. He was a bit wary, and the second he came out and gave it started to give it a go. I won the second. I lost the third. Took too many shots, and I felt like I won the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth as well. The scorecards was very close, and the fight was close because it was fought in close quarters. It could be deemed scrappy, or it could be deemed a good fight. We could look at it both ways. It was a hard fight. Maybe not the most action-packed, but it was a hard fight. It was. It was a bit like Sweeney and Timms. I don't know if you've seen Mike Sweeney and Timms the other day. It was a real hard fight. It was a massive man as well. He was 18 stone, and I took a lot of good shots. I took a lot of positives out of it, and I won the fight. I won the fight by a couple of rounds in my eyes, three or four rounds. And I dropped him with a beautiful shot, and that's in the past now. We've won, we move on. It's done me the world of good with ranking positions. It's moved me up a few places, and we move on.
Okay. Eddie Chambers, if you remember rightly, said that we don't want to be taking too many punches at this stage of your career. How much of what Eddie said did you take in, and how much of it have you kind of put to one side and gone and done your own thing, would you say?
When it comes to boxing, I always listen to Eddie Chambers.
Anything else?
Anything else, I don't listen to Eddie Chambers because That man's a weird man. He's a crazy man, Eddie Chambers. Don't be listening to Eddie Chambers. That's my advice to any kids out there. It'll lead you into some weird and dark places. When it comes to boxing, the man knows what he's talking about. So I do listen to Eddie Chambers, and I wasn't going in there trying to get hit in the face. The Frenchman was very experienced, and my inexperience is shown in that I didn't get drawn into a fight. It was a fight that I thought, the fight I was making in the first couple of rounds, I thought that was the fight I wanted. But if I had a box, I think I'd have stopped him. I caught him with one clean shot in the whole fight, and he was gone. I wasn't able to do that again. And just trying to rely on brute strength, and come up against a man who was nearly equally strong as I, and there's experience. So yeah, I should listen to Eddie more. You just hit at the moment. I wanted to impress Eddie Earn, who was sat on the front row. I wanted to impress people in the arena, and we learned from it. And that opponent, I wasn't expecting to watch one of that caliber for probably another year or 18 months. I believe he's probably a British title level kind of fighter, the Frenchman.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question which could be deemed part trollish, part critical. So you'll have to excuse me, but it's there. The question is, if you're sort of having wars and life and death struggles with the Oriengs of this world, then what would happen if you were going to step up and say, well, I'll fight Joshua and I'll do this and I'll do that? Of course, I've got to ask the question, because if I don't ask the question, people say, well, you're kissing Alan's ass. So I've got to ask the question. If you're like that, and we have to also take into consideration all the things you had to deal with to get to that fight, and obviously the change of opponents, blah, 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 all new experience. You've only had, 8 fights, was it?
About 10 amateur and 9 pro.
Yeah,
no.
So 9 pro. So we've got to say to ourselves, well, okay, look, he's still young in the sport. So you can't be overcritical and say there are a lot of guys who get 20 or 30 fights that would not have fought that level of opponent. So that's where we've got to say, yeah, give him a pat on the back for that. Fantastic. But then the flip side is, well, okay, if he's struggling against that sort of opponent, was that a technical thing? Was that a fitness thing? Was that a occasion thing? Was that a Dave Allen meeting his level? What would you say that would be for you?
It's a mix of all kinds of the things you've kind of said. At the moment, I see Orieng as being like he reminds you of like a Michael Sprott kind of fighter. A good fighter, just a good fighter, and in all fairness, that's probably the level that I'm at right now. I'm a good fighter. With the experience that I've got, I'm a good fighter, but the attributes are there to be a world-class fighter. And it wasn't a life and death struggle. I won the fight pretty comfortably. I thought personally, but at the minute I'm a good fighter. I'm nothing more than a good fighter. So I don't have the experience to be anything more than that. And the fight and Orieng, he could. I wouldn't say he matched me, but he nearly matched me for physicality. I'm a fighter that relies on physicality and strength. And if I'd have fought a beautiful boxer, there's a good chance I'm going to steamroll. If I'd have boxed the Adam McCars, a stand-up boxer, I'd have probably steamed straight for him. You got to take into consideration the opponent and stuff, and I didn't see myself fighting for Fabrice Orieng at this stage. So, I wouldn't say it was the occasion. The occasion didn't faze me one bit. But the level, it was a good fight. It was just the right. It was probably the right fight. I beat him, but I had to work very hard to beat him, and I've learnt a lot of lessons in beating him. But I could have beat him. I could have, looking back at it now, I should have boxed the wrong fight altogether. But that comes with experience. There's not many people in 9 professional fights and 10 amateur fights that would have took that fight in the first place. But I was hungry to fight on the show, and we took it because I've got the utmost confidence. And a lot of fighters with my experience and whatever else would have folded in certain parts of that fight, and I didn't. So we come out happy with it.
Absolutely. So that's good. I think we've got a kind of all round picture on that. Let's move forward a little bit. Now, when you go back to training camp or you go back to training, does that fight give you more confidence, or does that kind of knock your confidence because you've said, well, that's what happened there? what is it now with you? Where's your state of mind with that now?
Came out of the fight, and I felt like King Kong. Obviously you take positives and negatives out of everything in life, and especially in boxing. I proved that I can do 6 hard rounds, and I've got the strength, to compete at a very high level. Took a lot of great shots, which is not a great thing, but it installed confidence. It answered a lot of questions in myself. But at the same time, I really wanted to impress. I wanted a first round KO. I wanted this or I wanted that. But if you'd have offered me a first round knockout or the 6 rounds that I got, I'd have took the 6 rounds that I got for moving forward, because I'd rather get there in 10 years' time, eventually after a rocky road, than have it good for the next 18 months and never get where I want to get. So Steph is guiding me on a path of it's not an easy path, and there's probably going to be bumps on the road to getting there, but we're going to get there eventually. We're going to do it the right way. We said we're going to do it the right way. We're going to take the right fights. We're going to learn, and we're going to. It's always about, for me, it's always been about, I want to become a good fighter. I want people to say, David Allen, that's a good fighter. I don't say that's David Allen. He won a certain title because he was bought an undefeated record. I want to be a very good fighter.
A throwback fighter.
Yeah, it's not about fighting anyone anywhere. I want to keep the looks and my brain intact, but I want to become a good fighter. I want to be like, fighters back in the day was, really good. Could do a bit of everything, and that's what we're aiming to do. And if I can do that, I'll be very successful anyway. So, that is the plan. And I took a lot of good things out of the fight. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm fighting again in 2 weeks, which is crazy, because 3 fights in 3 months. I used to have 3 fights in 3 years. So it's it's good, and we're on to the next one now with utmost confidence.
So let's talk about this next fight. Is that on the same day that Tyson fights Klitschko?
Yeah, it's the same night. Yeah, it's the same night.
What is with that? What is with that? The fight you were going to have before was on the same night Tyson was meant to fight Klitschko. Now you've got to fight again on the same night. What is it? Is that management thing that wants you to fight the same night as Klitschko, or what is it?
I don't know, but I would have been tempted to go to Dusseldorf and watch Tyson. But the show is going to be the show that I'm on is going to be it's going to be started early, right, so that everyone and the big fight will be shown on a big screen in the Doncaster Dome, for all the fans. So in a monetary sense, it'll work out better. Instead of paying the £25 on box office, you can spend 35, watch the live boxing, and then watch the big fight anyway. So there'll be a lot of people doing that. So yeah, and I'm more excited for Klitschko Fury than Alan Sokolowski. I can tell you that for one, because that's a great fight.
That's the opponent you're fighting, Sokolowski.
Yeah, we've got Kamil Sokolowski. Yeah, he's a decent name. He's very tough, and he's been on the wrong side of a lot of results, but he's pushed a lot of good fighters to some very close fights. So and his definite rounds. That's the main thing. Definite rounds, and his definite challenging rounds.
And it's a name that people know about.
Yeah, he's watched Dillian White. Sex Inc. Akinlade's got a rate. Akinlade.
Yeah, he pushed Akinlade. I saw that fight. He did push Akinlade a lot.
We're not. It's not one to be taken lightly. His record is very deceptive. He's a fighter. Unlike Orieng, he's going to sub me down to the ground. So we're looking forward to that one.
Okay, so what do you think Sokolowski brings that Orieng didn't bring, or you compare the two fighters, contrasting styles?
Well, Sokolowski, I don't believe he's on Orieng's level by any stretch of the imagination. He's not. He's shared a ring with a lot of good fighters as Orieng, but Orieng's won titles. He's beat the fighters. Sokolowski's boxed these fighters and has never beat them.
Right.
So Sokolowski's very tough, and durable, and maybe strong, but he doesn't look the biggest. And he comes to have a fight, and he's there to be hit. And that's bad news for Sokolowski.
Because you're going to be hitting him.
Because I'll be hitting him, and I'll be hitting him pretty hard as well. But I've got a lot of respect for him. He's took a lot of hard fights early in his career, and we're not taking. It's not a fight to be taken lightly. It's never 6 rounds. 6 round shadow boxing is hard work. So never mind 6 rounds in front of a big crowd against a big tough man. So it's something we have prepared diligently for the last few weeks, and a lot of the fitness has been carried on for the last fight. I thought it was a 10 rounder, so we was fit anyway, and it's a good fight. It's a good fight to further my progress again.
Is there a reason why it's a 6-round fight and not a 10-rounder?
Well, 10-round fights are usually only for titles, and obviously we're not on the British title level right now. We're not at that level. That's Joshua and White, and the English is tied up with McDermott. I think Huey might be going for that in the near future. And the area title, obviously, it's about finding someone in the area and to fight. So, and 3 fights in 3 months, it's a decently heavy schedule, really. And especially with Oriang only 5 weeks away, I had to have a week and a half of training after the Oriang fight with the state of my hands and my face. So to go into a 10-round fight, it wouldn't be doable.
Right.
So a 6-round fight is what we've got.
So while you're talking about being busy, and you spoke about Hughie Fury, he fights tomorrow night in Bristol, and then 2 weeks later. Yeah. He goes and fights Nicholas Further in Germany.
I think the opponent tomorrow doesn't look the best. Right. Huey may get him out of there pretty early on if he fancies the job. But Peter may send him out to get the round, what. But tomorrow doesn't look the most challenging fight. But Firth is a good fight. I think Firth is tough.
Firth is tough,
and he's experienced. So yeah.
Firth is a good fight. I mean, Firth even tried to give Deontay Wilder a go. I mean, he tried. That's one thing you know about Firth. He's not going to just quit on his stool. He'll have a go.
That's the difference with these heavyweights, as I found with the Frenchmen. Ones that come and have a go, if they're 18 stone men and they're coming to have a go, you're gonna have a rough night. Whether you think your level's above these fighters or not, if they're 18 stone and they're in decent shape and they're going to come and have a go, you're in for a hard night. But I think tomorrow's opponent isn't the greatest, but the first fight is a good fight, and he's only 21, which people seem to forget all the time. But that is busy in 2 different countries as well.
Back to your own career, the area title, that situation there with Machard. Why do you not just take a fight with Machard?
I'm not really sure what's happened with him. No one seems to have heard from him since he pulled out. So I don't know. But I knew the fight. I had a feeling the fight was going to get called off, and I said that when the fight was made, and it came true 4 days before. So I've just got to do what Steffi Bull tells me to do, really now. I told him when we started working together, because in the past, obviously, kind of tried to manage my own career. So I told him I put my faith in him, and so far so good. So whatever he comes up with, and whatever he deems is the best for me, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Yeah, so. He did allude that you sort of felt that you had your own path and your own way and wanted to do things your own way, and Steffi sort of said, well, look, I appreciate that, but I've been in this sport a little longer in terms of management and getting fighters positions. Yeah. So kind of said that you're definitely one that wants to listen now and wants to move forward. So that's a positive.
I've always wanted to listen, but I'm my own man, and while I'm getting punched in the face, I'm gonna have a say in what's going off. So as long as I'm taking some punches, I'm gonna have some input into what's going off. Steffi obviously comes to me with the ideas, and it's just a case of me agreeing with him 99.9% of the time. So that's where we're at right now. We're in a better place, and that's what we're doing. He's coming with the ideas, and I'm agreeing.
The other thing I want to talk to you about is Carl Froch. He's going to be making I hear he's coming back against. He wants to come back against Gennady Golovkin. That's what I'm hearing next year. What are your thoughts about that?
I've got a funny Carl Froch story before we start on that subject.
Go ahead.
At the end of the ball against the Frenchman, my face all bruised up, all purple, and having a good fight with the Frenchman. I turned to Carl Froch on commentary and gave him a wink, and he looked at me like I just urinated on his papers that he had in front of him. He wasn't impressed by the wink, and so yeah, he comes back and Golovkin smashes him now for that dirty look he gave me. Put me off for an round.
I think that's what happens when you wink at people that are fought in front of 80,000 people. That's what happens.
I think it's what happens when you're in a 6-rounder and you're struggling against a Frenchman and you're not George Gozak in front of 80,000 people. I'm beneath him. I shouldn't be winking at him when I weren't chopping enough trees down before that fight.
Be careful.
So, probably what I was thinking. Now, I'm a Carl Froch fan. I'm a Carl Froch fan as a boxer.
Be careful. Spike O'Sullivan did a video about chopping trees and wearing goggles and stuff like that. And recently I interviewed Spike O'Sullivan, and he said, Spike, there was a commentator that said that, or somebody made a reference to your lack of defense. He said, yeah, that guy with the pointy nose. Well, he's no one to make a comment. Look at the shape of his nose. And Spike went on to say, well, that gentleman from Nottingham, that guy from Nottingham, yeah, he didn't have much defense. He didn't refer to who he was, but he clearly had something wrong, issues with Carl. So, Carl Froch is not everyone's cup of tea, and I can understand that.
No, he's definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but you can't really knock him
as a fighter.
Can't really knock him in ring, yeah. So, if he does come back, I'd rather it be Golovkin than De Gale, because De Gale had beaten rather comfortably at this point, and the Golovkin fight would be a good fight. But I think he maybe craves a bit of the spotlight, and I think that's probably what it is. He won't be struggling for money, and he won't be struggling for. He's done what he's done. He's left a good legacy, but I think he's kind of missing the spotlight and he's craving it, and that's probably why he's working on Sky with his mate Paul Smith. So I hope he comes back, because it's a good fight. Him and Golovkin will be a great fight. It'll be a huge fight. So I hope it happens.
For me, I think guys that don't get knocked out, those guys that don't get knocked out in their career, I think if you've been knocked out in your career and then you've gone and had a successful career, I think that you know what it's like to get knocked out. So you've got that sort of awareness of your vulnerabilities and mortality. Someone like Carl Froch, I think that mortality issue, that area where, I've never been knocked out, I've been gone down, I can get up. That sort of attitude, and you're not aware that you're getting older, kind of, I think, deludes the mind so much that you think you could just go out there and fight anybody at any time, at any era,
I think what he's got in his favour is he's been a good liver, hasn't he? So maybe still has something left, but it'll probably be 2 years, if not more, by the time he's been out of the ring by the time he comes back. So and Golovkin would have been the man you'd want to come back to.
You certainly don't want to come back to Golovkin.
But for me right now, Carl Froch is he's retired and he's done. I'm quite excited for Cotto and Alvarez on a Saturday.
How do you feel about that fight?
I think Alvarez should be way too big, and hopefully Margarito's him. I'm an Alvarez fan. The good boxing.
You're a Cotto fan.
No, I'm not. I'm a Margarito fan. I was a huge Margarito fan. So yeah, I know. Take from that what you like, but I was a Margarito fan, so I'm not really a Cotto.
You enjoyed Margarito beating Cotto then?
Yeah. I've got a lust for that kind of violence that Margarito used to put on people.
Even with the plaster of Paris.
Especially with the plaster. I like that. That man's got a mean streak. That's good. I like that. So, I'm a Margarito fan. I think Margarito would have beat Mayweather at the time. He'd have walked him down and bashed him up. With those
plasters.
Obviously, he wouldn't have beat him without the plaster, but with it, I'd have given him a good chance. They have a legalised plaster of Paris.
Yes.
Margarito.
Yes. Dillian Whyte and Anthony Joshua, as we know, it's December the 12th, and you better get your money out because it's a pay-per-view event.
Yeah. It's going to be a big fight. I think by the time it comes around, I think Dillian will sell it really well. But the closer it gets, I will lean towards Anthony anyway. But now I'm kind of like totally on that side.
What do you think it is?
A little too fast.
What do you think it is?
Speed of hand. Simple as that, really. That's the difference with Anthony right now and the rest of the heavyweights in the country. Just speed of hand. That's it. That's it. It's not power. It's not strength. It's not anything else. It's just speed. It's just purely speed of hand. And the way he trains, he trains better than any other heavyweight in the country. He's got everything on his side, and he's a great athlete. And I really believe it's just his hand speed that is the difference from him and everyone else.
Would you say that this fight is similar to Callum Smith and Rocky Fielding in terms of the promotion?
Yes, it ending that way. Yeah. Rocky Fielding's a good fighter.
Did you think it was going to end up that way? Because I thought Rocky Fielding stood a chance.
Months before the fight, I was fancying Rocky Fielding to the fight, and when I saw the size difference, Smith, I had a bet on Smith inside 3 rounds. And I fear that may be the same in the White Joshua fight. But one thing for sure, Dillian White, like Rocky Fielding, will come and give a go, and that's one of the reasons why Rocky Fielding got took out in the amount of time that he did, because he did come and give it a go. So it's gonna be a good fight, and I will be paying to watch it.
Did Callum Smith prove to you anything, or was that a case of, well, Rocky Fielding, who was he?
Rocky Fielding's a good fighter, but he's not. I think Groves beats Smith still. I think they're getting carried away thinking Smith's going to beat Jack or Groves, because I don't think he beats either right now. Rocky Fielding caught him with one.
He did.
Rocky Fielding's a big punch in super middleweight, super middleweight. So
he took the shot, though. He took the shot.
He took it, but beating Rocky Fielding and Rabras doesn't put you right up there and beating Badou Jack or Groves. I wouldn't have thought right now, but he did look well. You couldn't really knock him. He did look well.
That sort of power that he had there, because I didn't think he'd have that sort of punch power. But then I think to myself, was Fielding weight drained?
Yeah, it's possibilities. I mean, it's not really fair to knock him now. He did a good job.
Yeah.
You can just take it for what it was. It was a good performance, and he's beat the second best super middleweight domestically. That's what I'm saying.
The way he dispatched of Rocky Fielding is either one or two things. Rocky Fielding is that bad, or Callum Smith is that good.
I think Rocky Fielding's good. I think Callum Smith's just too good for him. And Callum Smith, the way he puts his punches together, he's got a lovely left up to the body. He's got a good jab. He's got decent power. He's very big at the weight, but on that performance, he's not ready for world titles based on being Rocky Fielding.
So how will he do against Jack, do you think?
I don't think he's ready for a fighter like that
really?
right now. No, I wouldn't have said so. I wouldn't have
Jack's
thought.
not a big...
When he's not a big puncher, but it's not about a big puncher. With 10-ounce gloves on, if you're getting hit around on the chin, and with a good fighter, and Badou Jack's a very big, strong man. Not that Rocky Fielding's not, but I don't see him beating them kind of fighters right now.
So where would you see him next, then? What would be the next move for you if you...
I don't know, because defending the British title, there's not really many. Rocky Fielding was the second best domestic super middleweight, so anything other than a step onto the European scene or onto a world scene is a step down. But I would expect an Argentinian flying over to Liverpool around March time, more than likely. So
Joe Gallagher's
WBC.
very happy now.
Well, I thought Scott Carlo was going to get
beat. So did I.
So.
I really thought he was going to get beat.
Oh.
Good fight, though, wasn't it?
I'm getting ready to see Gallagher's face. It was a good fight. Dodd surprised everyone, because I thought Carlo was a level above, but Dodd, it goes to show when you're a big strong man at the weight, and you solid with it, and you've got a little bit of boxing nous about you. That shows. You don't have to be. All have to be Mayweather's to achieve in the game.
But you saw his defensive weaknesses. He saw himself coming apart because he had no defense. Did that when you watched that fight? Did you not think to yourself, if I don't tighten my defense, I could end up like Scotty Cardle? Did you ever think that to yourself?
I don't have a face like paper, you know what I mean? He just seems cut like no man's business, and he's a very good fighter. He's a British champion, but on that performance, you don't see him beating the Mitchells, the Burns, or Campbell or anything like that. But it was a good fight. Hopefully it happens again. I think Dodd deserves a rematch. I think Carlo was getting well on top, and I think he probably won the fight overall. So maybe it's done Dodd a favour. The stoppers getting him a rematch.
So, Klitschko Fury, we're getting closer.
Yeah.
And Peter Fury sent out a message on Twitter, and he said that it's interesting how so many boxing experts want Tyson to lose the fight. And what are your thoughts about this whole thing about people wanting Tyson to lose?
Well, I for one don't want him to lose for definite. A lot of my friends and people involved in boxing that I know, they all want Tyson to win. I think every fighter that I spoke to wants Tyson to win. Whether that's a British thing, whether that's being involved in the game and wanting the game to. Because if Tyson becomes heavyweight champion of the world, I think boxing will boom in Britain. Big time having a British heavyweight champion and having a British heavyweight champion with something about him. I think it'll really boost the sport. But the way Tyson has carried off in the past. Maybe you can see why the older statesmen in the sport, be it journalists or whoever else, want to see him get beat. But for me, I think it'd be good. Klitschko's getting on. Klitschko's not going to be around forever, and one thing for definite, Tyson will take the Wilder fight. I think the Wilder Fury fight will happen early next year if Tyson wins.
Do you think it's just the personality rather than there's separation between the boxer and the personality? But it seems that a lot of people seem to put the boxer and the personality together when in the ring. So, he's shit, based on the fact that he said something outside of the ring, as opposed to his actual boxing ability.
Yeah, the Tyson Fury that people see, in press conferences are different to the Tyson Fury that you and I know. And I've explained that to a lot of people. I said that's not Tyson Fury I know. He's a nice, you might see him around in the backline costume, but he's a highly intelligent man, and he's a good man with it. So I for one, I'm biased, obviously, but. I can't see why they want him to lose. He's good for the game. He brings when he was dressed up as Batman. The views on IFL TV that day must have gone through the roof. He's good for the sport and he's a good man. So and he comes from a good family as well. So I definitely hope he wins it. And that's nothing against Klitschko because Klitschko's a great champion, but he's had his time in the sun now. So it'd be nice, to see him pass the torch on to it.
On one end, you're saying, this guy's boring, right? So when he goes and does something exciting, then they slag him off. It's like, there's no winning. They slag Klitschko off for being boring, right? Tyson goes, he's complete polar opposite, and they slag him off as well. So there's no winning with some people.
And that's just human nature, innit? That's just... That's what you're going to get. I don't think him being a travelling man does him many favours, really, with the wider general public. But if Tyson wins that world title, I don't think Tyson cares. Couldn't care less what anyone thinks about him. And if he wins that, then world titles, I think he'll care even less.
Does he turn the division upside down?
Well, Tyson wins that world title. It's money, innit? I think Tyson, maybe driven a lot of it by money. So I think that's why Tyson would be the best man to win. Because, like I said, the Wilder fight would, I think, 100% would be made in his first defence for all.
Tyson made some statements about, if he win, lose or draw, he'll retire and go into caravan and go to a kind of like the old-fashioned way of life and be a traveller, do the traveller things, go back to the old days and live like old-fashioned way of living. Do you think he's saying those things because he knows there's a possibility he might get beat and he's covering his own tracks?
There's always a possibility. There's always a possibility you're going to get beat. If he does get beat, there's no shame in getting beat by Vladimir Klitschko or any man. Not by any man. Never mind a man like Klitschko, but. I don't think losing will be crossing his mind. It's a big opportunity. He's making millions of pounds. It's a win-win situation as far as I can.
He doesn't lose either. He doesn't lose.
You can't lose. He's making millions of pounds in his fight for the world heavyweight title, win, lose or draw. No one's going to take that away from you. They might take your money, they might take whatever else, but they'll never take away that one night in Dusseldorf he boxed Vladimir Klitschko for the world title. So, he won't. Knowing the kind of man he is, he won't lose any sleep over the fight, whatever the result. So
36 minutes to get it right. 36 minutes. You see, your whole career as a boxer comes down to 36 minutes. Get it right in those 36 minutes, and your whole life changes. 36 minutes.
I think it's 48 minutes. I think it's 48 minutes. I think Peter will be vital in the corner.
Of course,
keeping his head on keeping it in the game. 12 minutes that he'll be sat on his stool. If it goes that long, they'll be vital. Peter will be feeding the information, I do see him having success with Klitschko, because I see him hitting Klitschko, and I see and Klitschko gets hit. We've seen it before. He doesn't take the best shot in the world, and Tyson is going to hit him at some point, I would think, with the size. He hasn't been going to land on Klitschko at some point, and that's why I see him taking Klitschko out. I see the fight. I don't see the fight lasting more than 3 or 4 rounds, because I think Tyson is going to make it into a fight, and I don't think either of them take the best shot in the world, and both can punch very hard. So there's only one result there.
Give me a good fight.
A great fight. This next 4 weeks in boxing is, first and foremost, I'm a fan. I do participate in the sport, but first and foremost, I'm a massive fan of boxing. There's Martin Murray fighting Abraham and stuff, and that's gone under the radar because of all the other massive fights.
Martin Murray fighting Arthur Abraham. Can you explain to me what Martin Murray? And this is not being critical of Martin Murray. Can you tell me what Martin Murray has done as a super middleweight to justify fighting Arthur Abraham? Apart from the fact that his credentials as a middleweight, yes, but as credentials as super middleweight, absolutely not.
It's just on his name and with Matchroom, a good relationship with the Sowlands. It's shouldn't be like 2 cinder blocks with arms hitting each other. Two very hard men. It's got 12 rounds written all over it, and I see it's going to be a very close fight. They both can have bits of success. I don't see either man hurting the other. It could be a good fight. Wouldn't surprise me if Murray wins it.
Really?
And then maybe they can get in with Callum Smith, because I do see Callum Smith beating Martin Murray. So maybe that's the way they're going to plot to take Callum Smith, maybe to take him to a world title. So I think they'll kind of freeze George Groves out now.
You think so?
His marketability was massive after the first fight, but I think it's plummeted way down. He's a very dangerous fighter. So I don't know. I ain't got a crystal ball. I don't know what. Eddie Hearn seems to be Eddie Hearn and Sowlands and Heyman. They're the main man, but I think his marketability's probably plummeted a little.
In terms of, let's go back to your own career, social media. And have you noticed a difference in social media since obviously you've now become more of an active fighter again?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I like to stay busy on there. Selling tickets is massive in small hall boxing, because they're the shows that I'm on. Even when I box on the Matchroom show, you still have to sell your quota of tickets to first and foremost get on the show, and secondly get paid. But and social media is the best way to do that. Is the best way to sell tickets is via social media. And without it, you really wouldn't be able to do it. I don't think you'd be able to sell the tickets. And Twitter's great. Facebook is better because they're all your personal friends and they're who you're selling your tickets to. But Twitter's great because Twitter gets you out there with a wider public. Met a lot of great people on Twitter. Met a lot of not so great people on there as well. But I think social media is probably the greatest thing that's happened to boxing in the last 10 years. Twitter has really. I think it's been massive for boxing in all manners of different ways.
Absolutely, I would definitely say it's definitely given people a voice. Some people who should have a voice, and maybe some people who really should be behind a block button.
We should just not open the voice. Probably some of them are a little special. But Everyone deserves to be heard, and then if you don't like it, you can block it, like you say. So everyone gets that one chance. I've never blocked anyone. I'm not like Postman. I don't block anyone if they slag me off. Otherwise, I'd have no followers, so I'll leave them. I'll let them stay. I ain't got many followers as it is, so I don't want to block them. I don't want to get even less. So I'll let them stay.
And finally, do you have a word to those people who have been supporting you and following the White Rhino journey?
I always tell people that I'm appreciative of it, but I really am. It makes me feel a little bit emotional sometimes. That people want to spend the money to come and watch me fight, and some people don't want to watch me fight. They're just spending money to come and support me and allowing me to carry on doing what I'm doing, and that does make me feel a bit emotional sometimes, because it's nice that there's people out there, and it's nice that people want to come and watch me and support me. I do mean it when I say I'm appreciative. I am appreciative. I'm not just saying it so people buy tickets. I do mean it.
But you do want people to buy tickets, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, with that. Yeah, it does help. It does help, but it does. When someone says want to buy tickets, first and foremost it helps, but secondly, it does. It means a lot, because you don't need to, and it is an expensive thing to follow boxing. It's not a cheap night out of the boxing, so it's great. I do have a few tickets left. The tickets have gone well for this fight. They've gone better than ever before. So. And that's because I'm a busy fighter, and I think they can see that. I think people on social media again can see that there is effort being put in there, and the support in the effort that I'm putting in, not just myself, the support in the effort that they're seeing. And without social media, they wouldn't be able to see that. So yeah, it is great for that. So yeah, there is a few tickets. Let anyone listen to this that wants to come and watch on the 28th at the Doncaster Dome. Just get in touch with me via Facebook. My actual fan page, as some may call it. I just call it the White Rhino page on my personal Facebook. Get in touch and I'll sort you out.
And a shout out to your trainer, strength and conditioner.
John Sunderland. Yes. Within this morning.
It's Jack.
I've been with John Boy this morning. Jack Sunderland is his real name, and he's a very busy man, Jack Sunderland. I've never known a busier man. He works 18 hours a day in the gym. He trains me every morning early. He's up early every morning. He puts me through it. I don't like him while I'm there. I hate him. He makes me do some horrible things. But he's been really good, and he's helped me turn a corner really. And Steffi's been great at me as well, as he knows. But he's got a big head anyway, so I'm not going to thank him too much. It'll go to his head. So they're the main man, and there's too many people to thank really. So I've support coming in from all manners of people with all manners of things. Small sponsorships and stuff. How little or small, it all helps. So, I make sure my appreciation is shown to the people, so they know the love.
Every little helps, and I want to say something. This is something that I wanted to share. It was quite a touchy moment for myself. It was, and I wanted people to hear it. It was when you were in the dressing room before your fight with Oriang, and you kind of sent me a Skype. You were on Skype, and I saw you in the dressing room, and I saw Jamie McDonnell, and I saw yourself almost like half an hour before you were going out to fight, and I thought that was just like, it was amazing, because I was like, he took the time to actually get in contact and say, you know what, here, this is what's going on, I'm about to go out and fight, and it gave me an insight, a real special insight. So I wanted to say thank you for that, because a lot of people in boxing a lot of fans in boxing who just get these interviews don't really get to see things like that. So I have to say thank you for that.
If you can give me 2 years of your life, Ingram, I can give you 5 minutes. It was Jamie McDonald, Gavin McDonald. It was. You've been there through a lot of it, through a lot of the career, and most of my career now. Since I only missed the first couple of fights since we got good friends together, and I thought it'd be a good moment. I said to John, I said Ingram would love this. I said if Ingram was here now, he'd be loving this. So,
I tell you, it's. People say, oh, why can't you be here? And why can't you be there? And why? I said, listen, I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to these places. I will do. But I just got to, as I say, bide my time, be patient, and eventually I'll be there.
yeah, it's I say good things happen to those who go out there and get them. I think, sort yourself out, young man. Sort yourself out, young man, right now.
Definitely will do. Dave Allen, thank you so much for talking to Bayloric TV. It's always an honour talking to you, and fight by fight, interview by interview, we're going to get to know more and more about you.
We will. Not too much. I'll let out what I got. So, yeah, thanks a lot.
Dave, thank you so much.